Hello, it's me again. I've wanted to make this video for a while, and I don't know, I just haven't had the time really. I want to get some responses to the question of who do you look up to? Not necessarily who's your hero or your idol, but just somebody you look up to and why. I'm sure that there's a million of these videos on YouTube everywhere, but I just decided to make my own instead of going out and finding another one with like 87 responses. So I'll start by telling you someone I look up to, who's, I guess, is pretty controversial. I have a poster, so So, if you couldn't tell who that was, it's Malcolm X. He was a, what would you call him? An activist for social and political rights in the 60s, and it was mostly in the 60s. I guess I'll start by telling you a little bit about his life because he's so controversial, and just so, I don't know, maybe you could get a view of what I see when I talk about Malcolm X. First of all, he was raised in a totally, his family was just really kind of out there, and time goes by, he gets arrested for various things. He ends up in jail, and he educated himself, and that's also where he got his trademark glasses, is because, you know, he's in jail, the lighting's bad, and he was reading all these books. But he educated himself not only in just knowledge of the world, but also in verbosity, which I thought was pretty cool. So he gets out of jail. He joins the Nation of Islam, and I always forget the name of the guy who ran it, but I don't know. If you know, please tell me, because I always forget his name. But anyway, so he joins the Nation of Islam. He basically becomes the mouthpiece for the Nation of Islam, just repeating everything that he's told to say by the leader, and by that time he really did believe in what he was saying. And once again, time goes by. There was a severe break between him and the leader of the Nation of Islam. Malcolm X goes on to basically create his own, sect of it, and it was around that time that he traveled to Mecca, and that was his crucial turning point, because he went to Mecca and he saw thousands of people of all different kinds of skin colors worshipping the same God that he did, and that's where he took the name Malik el-Shabazz. I think I might be forgetting part of that name there. Once again, if you know, please tell me. Anyway, so he saw all these different kinds of people. Sorry, my phone rang. He saw all these different kinds of people there worshipping the same God, and that was his turning point, because he went from almost like hating whites and not wanting them to be a part of the affirmative action movement to embracing anybody who wanted to help his cause. And then, of course, as we know, he was eventually murdered. Some say it was by the Nation of Islam because of their break. But anyway, so that's the history I know of him. I took an entire class on Malcolm X and Martin Luther King Jr., and I'm in the middle of reading his autobiography, which was, I guess, basically dictated to Alex Haley. Anyway, so I look up to this man for a couple reasons. First of all, because he always believed in what he spoke, which doesn't necessarily mean that it was right, that I agreed with what he spoke, but he always believed in it. And I think that's incredibly important, especially when you have a social cause. The other reason is because he could admit he was wrong, and to a lot of people. Anybody who can do that, in my book, is, I don't know, they're just at the top of my list, because not a lot of people will admit that they were wrong, especially about something so huge as hating, well, not necessarily hating, but disliking an entire group of people. And I think that takes a lot of guts. Sorry. The other reason is because he's self-taught, and he was incredibly eloquent in his speaking and his writing. He always knew what he was talking about. Another reason is because he was always honest. Malcolm X, he was always honest in what he did. And especially to break a friendship and a political connection with somebody so powerful because they weren't honest to him is amazing to me, because I don't think a lot of people would do that today. I want to read the quote that I have on the poster, because it kind of, I don't know, it's the epitome of how I think of Malcolm X. And he said this after he came back from Mecca, of course, and he says, "I'm for truth no matter who tells it. I'm for justice no matter who it is for or against. Excuse me. I'm a human being first and foremost, and as such I'm for whoever and whatever benefits humanity as a whole." And I just think that is awesome. So, I know it's kind of controversial, but I've studied him, not extensively, but I've studied him a fair amount compared to other people, and I just really look up to him, and I just think it's a tragedy that his life was ended so short, because I think he could have really accomplished a lot more. But anyway, so that's who I look up to. And I would like to get some other responses to this. Take your time with it. But I'm just really interested in what people have to say. So, have fun with it, and please respond, because I really am interested. I'm not lying about that.